Chapter 71. One Small Mistake. He has one safe second. With the sight taking the weight, those battering ram legs can't swing yet. He commits to the worst route, straight under the armored belly where one twitch turned him into dune jam. Crap, crap, crap. Slips out as he slides into cool shade. The world narrows to hinge and timing. Breath shallow. Blade ready. Focus glued to knee joints for the microtel that screams move. He goes past the first pair of legs, then the second, feeling the tension shift. There, the behemoth is about to drop. The plan is brutal but simple. Bring the giant down to blade height so Changing Star can finish it. He coils to bolt, every muscle loaded, humor somehow intact even beneath a metal cathedral of death. The joint tightens. He pivots hard, carving a crescent spray of grit. Too late to sprint clear, just in time to angle out. The titan body slams the island. Boom. Shockwave punches the ridge. Dust geysers bloom. The whole sandbar shudders. He rolls, pops to his feet, and a little dizzy. Very alive. Actually managed to survive that. Deadpan, the gamble work. The armored torso is down where steel can reach, well within Changing Star's range. The catch? Close distance means tighter dodges and meaner angles. He has to keep all that murderous attention on himself, buying her seconds to line up the fatal answer. No space, no time. Knees stuck. He throws an ugly somersault. He steps into both threads, cones on purpose, scythe and pincer, because being the bigger problem is the only way to save her angle. What a lovely task, he thinks, grimly amused. The eye tracks him, hot and hateful. The next thrust is smarter and lower. He's late. No, dodge left. Hand set on the azure blade. One on the hilt, one bracing the flat near the tip. He can't steal to deflect, not block. Bones hold. Stands, holds. The ring in his ears says the math was close. The azure blade sings its last snaps. He staggers upright, chest buzzing, clocking the miracle tree close. Obsidian trunk, sacred to the monster's instinct. The demon begins to turn toward Changing Star. Wrong target. He needs that gaze back. The ruined memory kindles to dissolve. He cocks his arm and hurled the broken sword. At the tree, not the beast. The scarlet eye locks on the throw. The behemoth hesitates, for a priceless heartbeat, ready to young threat again if needed. The price was a blade, the purchase a window. The distraction sticks, the size twitches to reward. The pincer re-angles, a blind arc yawns open. He's done the job. The bait. Faint. Survive and the lane belongs to Changing Star. He holds lungs burning. A half prayer, half punchline ready if the beast recalculates. It doesn't. Timing, geometry, nerve, everything clicks. One cut away from ending an island shaking stalemate. The checkmate began with a mad sprint under a mountain. A dive through thunder. A flip over a killing arc. And a blade sacrificed to buy a second. Now the second becomes a finish. Chapter 72. Demon Slayers. The instant the behemoth freezes, the opening appears. And it's already closing. She's been tracking the moment since the first exchange. Weight shift, guard drop, scythe offline. There's no countdown, no breath to spare. She explodes forwards, armor a black-white blur, silver sword catching the thin light like a fired arrow. The plan is simple and savage. Convert one borrowed heartbeat into a kill. The pincer snaps from the opposite flank, but she's already past the hinge. There's no room for retreat in her calculus, only the clean geometry of speed. Behind, the watcher on the sand, chest heaving, sand-stained, can only register the shock of it. Opportunity recognized seeds and burn for fuel. The demon corrects, late by a fraction, which is the same as never in a fight like this. The window holds for one more step. That's all she needed. Her stride changes cadence. Pain writes itself across a hidden face. Pale hands kindle with a soft white glow. And the glow does something new. It pours outward into a leather wrap into steel. Until the sword stops being a steel at all. Edge become radiance. An incandescent line bright enough to sting the eyes. Healing fire, yes, but also a cutter of impossible things. Every step is paid for. Every inch costs her. Months of training through the agony of her flaw by these seconds now. The blade hums, sharpened by will and light. The way shadow once sharpened one another's steel. It's not about overpowering the armored everywhere. It's about being sharp enough, right now, at exactly one place. The demon reads the line late, clamps to counter. She's already airborne. She isn't guessing. The target was chosen long before steel left scabbard. The healed but weakened panel over the heart. Scarred by the deep sea horror from a vision told in a dead leviathan spine. She drives the radiant point into the single fault line. Inside the carapace, light detonates. The giant seems to burn from within. Beans dance from joints. Azure ichor boils. Turns to vapor. The sight convulses offline. The pincer claws at air. The thrust that doesn't just pierce. It erases the argument the armor tries to make. She rides the recoil, wrist ready, shoulders stacked behind the blade, pushing through the last resisting fibers until the beat beneath the plate stops. For a suspended breath, the world is a bell tone for falling grit. The scarlet eyes dims, anger draining to something quieter, almost relief. The massive arms lift as if to embrace, then collapse, plates thudding to the sun. She lands, slides back to steps, guard high, ready for the lie that monster loved to tell with their last twitch. Though faint comes, the ashen barrow sentinel is finished. Sweat mats her silver hair. The white fire gutters and dies. Leaving tired gray eyes, she folds to a knee, then to her back, breath saving. Body ringing from the price she just paid. Across the sand, another fighter tips over graciously, sprawled and laughing at nothing, alive enough to laugh, which is everything. The whole battle lasted less than a minute, and somehow a lifetime. For once, the silence isn't menace, it's proof. They lie there, listening to their hearts slow. The wind teased the obsidian bark. Far above, a friend waits in branches, not knowing who stood and who fell. He holds in a breath, as if dragging the anchor, and finds the only ceremony they can afford. And then, Sunny shouted, "One demon stake coming right up." The line skims the hill, ridiculous and perfect. I promise that fear didn't get the last word. She lets the sword dissolve, palm open to the sky. The eye of the giant is dim now, turned toward the tree, toward them, toward whatever it guarded and whatever they just changed. Breakfast can wait, for the briefest span. Victory is a quiet place, and the road beyond suddenly real again. Chapter 73. The Circle of Death. Cassie appears on the branch edge, fingers tight on the golden rope, and begins a careful descent. Slow, nimble, deliberate. Boots kiss bark, then air. Staffs hang at her side. Hands slide, foot probes, control drop to the sand. She lands safe, summons her staff, and feels her way across the uneven ground. And then, a voice. "I'm here." She turns toward it, almost passes by, then stops at a dry quilt, and then Sunny said, lying on the ground, is very comfortable. They form a small circle in the lee of the giant trunk, sharing a cool water from a patterned blue glass bottle that never seems to run out. Breath steadies, shoulders drop. The last minute felt like a lifetime. But morning has finally, blessedly, arrived. They review the fight in a crisp bit. A split-second distraction. Nephis charged a blade, kindled to white fire, and thrust exactly where all damage had left hidden weakness. The Titan fell. The hail held. Cassie's eyes widened, then spoke. 2 sleepers beating an awakened demon? That's some webtoon stuff. Then Nephis corrects her, without drama. 3 sleepers. Yes, the tactic traced back to Cassie's vision. The key that made the impossible merely difficult. Relief mingles with disbelief. In a quiet, humor slips through the sand mattress. Review earns a tiny smile. The lesson is clear. Information wins fights. Precision beats brute force. And 1 good second is worth 1,000 average one. Demon stake? Sunny's voice returned. Hopeful, theatrical. Cassie hesitates. The idea of eating an intelligent foe suddenly feels wrong. The mood shifts from post-battle hype to ethic class. In the dream realm, monsters consume humans, and humans consume monsters. The circle of death delivered with a dry winds. Yet this guardian fought with pride and stubborn courage. That complicates the menu. Then Sunny thought, why didn't teacher Julius cover "Is it okay to eat your enemies 101? But the heart stayed sincere. The way hunger against honor. Decision pending. Appetite stall. It's an unexpectedly human moment. Victory tastes different when the opponent felt almost noble. The plan B arrives. What about the cheese fruit? Cassie's optimism paints the fruit as defiant life in a hostile place. Sunny's eyebrows reach orbit. The tree that thrives where nothing else can? That might be why the surrounding coral is dead. Hard pass. At least for him. Eyes swing to Nephis, the tiebreaker. After a measured pause, she sighed with caution. Too many unknowns. Do not eat, mysterious miracle produce. The mood resets with a couple punchlines. A mock. Finally a voice of a reason, Sunny said. In a silent eulogy, for a lost echo, Nephis talks about travel pace. Then Sunny thought, have you no heart? At Nephis breaks logistics. But the loss still stings. Then comes the second blow. The cherished sword shattered in the fight. It hurts more than expected. Tools become companions out here. Logistics return. No echo, no ration, no blade. Until Nephis lifts a hand. She earned a memory when the guardian fell, and then she said, it's a weapon. The words land like a chord resolving. The team's momentum, threatened by losses, steadies on a new axis. The day's arc rescue, review, debate, and rebuild, ends with a quiet readiness. The hill is calm, the miracle tree stirs, and the path ahead is visible again. Chapter 74. Midnight Shard. A single touch transfers fate. Nephis claps his hand. A spark passes, and the world blinks. He receives an awakened weapon, born from an awakened demon. 7 tiers exist. This one sits a full 2 above his broken blade. Sentiment for Azure Blade vanishes under a giddy math and survival logic. Runes flare. Midnight Shard, forged from a fallen star. Steadfast, no surrender. He plays it cool, voice flat, heartbeat loud. He summons it. Metal like moonlight, edged like a quiet threat. The moment is equal parts loop, drop, and a lifeline. The tone stays light. Cool name. Hope for once is tangible still. The weapon manifests fully. A long, slightly curved single edge, touchy length, with a pronounced round guard, onyx smooth, hilt wood that echoes 3 dark limbs. No ornaments, no vanity, just a war tool that radiates composure. In the hand, it feels unbreakable. Beneath the stern metal, something answered in his grip. A deep well he can sense but not yet reach. Earning the blade's favor will take time. He files it under, later for experiments. This isn't a museum piece. It's his "please don't leave me unarmed again" clause. The shard fits his rhythm, understated and deadly, like a personality he pretends not to have. "A katana?" Sunny asks. "Technically a tachi." She counters, "longer blade. Different profile." Training ported from the old sword slides neatly into the new geometry. Footwork adjusted, wrists relax, cuts lengthen. The mood lives, so does the equipping. Upgrade accepted, swagger reinstalled. He steals a glance at Nephis' silver longsword and files away a puzzle. If she declined this weapon, what tier is hers? A tier 3. "Are you sure you don't want to keep it?" She doesn't hesitate. "I already have a sword." Relief, loud on the inside, cold on the outside. The party shifts to caution. The sky scavenger that snuck on the Centurion might return for the demon remains. They relocate, hugging the trunk's lee, minimizing silhouettes. From grief counseling to gear unboxing, wow, we do it all. But the tactics stay grounded. Reduce profile, reset stamina, stays question for the safe hours. The midnight shot rests across his lap, quiet as a promise. Exhaustion wins. One by one, they fade. Nephis against the trunk, Cassie curled near the rope line. Sunny with the star-forged blade within reach. The dream realm shouldn't allow dreams, yet his eyes close and darkness isn't empty. Something stirs, not a threat, but strangeness, the kind that changes trajectories. Chapter 75. Broken Dreams. A ripple of alarms climbs Sunny's spine. His shadow keeps pointing up, insistent and nervy. He scans the canopy, mind foggy from sleep, and half-remembered, the dream tugs at him. Cassie's face urgent, pleading. "You have to remember. 5. It's 5. The memory slips like a sand through fingers. The shadow gestures harder. Priority reorders. Sky before symbolism. He wakes Nephis with a whisper, asks her to stay with Cassie, then pads off, the midnight chart loose and ready in his hand. At the eastern slope, the crown thins, and there it is, a black dot circling high. Sunny's chest tightens. He leaves the shadow on a lookout and hustles back. Quick huddle. Nephis' calm logic. Last time, the flyers seemed carrion first. Cassie's read. Maybe leaving prey isn't worth the effort to it. It still snatched scavengers after hitting the Centurion. Optimism is not a strategy. They settle on discipline, observe, confirm, then hide. 1 dot becomes 2, then 3. Identical horrors on the slow orbits. White corpse pale, torsos, raven feathers, too many taloned limbs, far off but unmistakable. The trio never dips fully into the tree's shadow. They faint, rise, and wheel again, as if the ashen bar itself makes them wary. Then Sunny spoke. "I don't know about these albino chickens, but I'm starving." Then Nephis deadpans back. "Want a grilled chicken?" He hisses back, "Don't even think about it." Decision at last. The flyers peel off and loose wedge and fade west without ever diving. Relief fizzles through the tree. Cassie exhales, calling the weight. This is 5 times worse than the cliff hide. The word pricks Sunny, an odd flinch at nothing he can name. Then the moment's gone. Odd. Nephis crests the natural rampart first and goes statue still. Sunny joins her, sees the set of her jaw, the rare, raw resentment in her eyes, and then looks west. Whatever sprawls beyond freezes him too. No need for dialogue. The silence curses for them. Plans reshuffle. Routes change. The board they've been flying on isn't the board they thought. Chapter 76. The Abyss. Beyond the Ashen Barrow's western rim, the land doesn't level out. It pitches down into a colossal crater that curves past the horizon. The island perched in its lip like a chip on a basin. Far below, the miracle tree's roots jut from the slope like a black pins, tiny against the planetary scar. No plateaus, no spires, no safe heights. Only a long descent with nowhere to outrun the night tide. The plants snap. Hope buckles. Nephis' gaze goes hard as ice. Sunny's jaw tightens. The west they pinned their escape on has been a dead end. Deep in the basin, dark waters surge from beyond the world's rim, climbing the bowl-like ink poured into a mold. The level rises fast, becomes a seamless obsidian ocean, then overflows, avalanching inland. The flood roars past the barrow and into crimson coral, drowning the labyrinth in minutes. Sunny wets cracked lips, voice rasping as the obvious clicks into place. So this is the source of the Dark Sea. Nephis watches the last sun threads die, then cuts it clean. Let's go back to camp. No victory speeches, just a pivot to survival. They retreat under the red leaves, the night tide hissing at their heels. The walk back is heavy. Cassie stumbles over the thought that there must be a way. She's seen a castle in her visions. Sunny confirms what the eye proves. The west falls away in all directions. The barrow is perched at the edge. Nephis refused despair. Think tomorrow, worst case we go around. The word around lands like a sentence. Months of marching, risking monsters by day and drowning by night. At camp, the leaf beds creak. Hunger gnaws. Sleep takes them, somewhere in that blur. Sunny wonders why he's been dreaming in the dream realm. Reaches for a fading memory, and it slides out of reach. Darkness holds its breath. Morning has to offer something. Nephis decides to climb to the crown. One more angle and one more scan. A few hours, she says, and vanishes upward into scarlet. Sunny stays groundside with Cassie, then chooses discipline over sulk. Train. The midnight shard flows, long touchy arcs, cutting clean, lines through the air, footwork quiet and measured. When sweat cools, pragmatism returns. He pries the 3 soul shard from the Carapace Demon's corpse, then combs the dunes for the transcendent soul shard the Centurion once carried. The hours leak away. The price doesn't show. A prickle of unease lingers. This barrow keeps secrets. Branches rustle. Nephis descends. Sunny returns, ready for the news. Any map line, any hope, and stops cold. Nephis and Cassie sit relaxed, lips stained red, hands full of glossy fruit from the miracle tree. Relief, hunger, and terror collide. The very thing he warned against was the unknown food in a place that kills by rules you don't know. Now glows in their palms like a temptation itself. Chapter 77. Enthralled. Sunny stumbled into a tableau he never penciled in. Nephis and Cassie calmly eating onyx-skinned, ruby-flesh fruit, lips and fingers stained red like messy jam. Not menace. The air is thick with sweet perfume. His stomach betrays him with a loud growl. Hey, Nephis says, as if this isn't the strangest punch ever. He sputters, "What are you doing?" and only meets with a puzzled look. Somewhere in his head, a warning bell rings about a don't eat the fruit agreement, and then slips away. Hunger elbows reason aside. Cassie pats a leaf pile. "There's a third fruit, saved for you." Sunny swears they agree not to eat this, but Nephis just blinks. Did we? Why? The reason is right there. And gone. Thoughts tangled. Appetite tugs. He reaches and notices his shadow won't mimic the motion. It stands stiff, arms crossed, refusing to touch the fruit like it knows something the humans don't. One bite detonates flavor. Cool, sweet, clean, like rainwater and summer jam. Another bite, and unease prickles his neck again. The shadow still refuses. The word soul tree drifts through his head. And that feels wrong, too. But the fruit is so good. Then the spell whispers. Your shadow grows stronger. Sunny freezes mid-chew. Across the clearing, Nephis stares at her fruit. Cassie beams like she just passed an exam. I absorb a point of soul essence too, Nephis says. I got mine a few bites ago, Cassie chirps. Sunny yanks up his runes. Shadow fragments. 97 out of 1000. It moved. Power from eating? Excitement steamrolls doubt. No hunt, no wounds, just growth. Sunny bites again. Greed edging out caution. The shadow inches closer, breathing like a cat near a bathtub. But he barely noticed. Buoyed by fruit-born energy, the trio declares a pause, a few days to rest, think, and eat safely. No monsters on the flats, an island high enough to outrun the tide, a tree that feeds you and makes you stronger, as far as hells go. This feels almost a paradise. They ship camp into a root alcove, shoulders uncoiling for the first time in weeks. The jokes return in crumbs. Cassie's giggle, Sunny's deadpan, Nephis' small, rare smile. Plans blur. Appetite in a relief do the talking. Sleep takes them. Sunny, drowsy, optimistic, full. At last thought flickers. The Carapace Demon is gone. Who protects the tree now? Then another. Not quite his voice. Shame no one remains to serve it. Feed it. Spread its seeds. The words like a warm syrup. Pleasant and wrong. His shadow stand watch. Uneasy. Staring up into the red canopy, as if waiting for something to move that isn't wind. Chapter 78. Bliss. A quiet morning finds the trio rested and oddly cheerful. Sunlight paints the root like rose gold ribs. The air smells of cool leaves and clean wind. Sun awakes smiling for no reason, tosses on a serious face, and offers a polite good morning. Nephis casually asks why no one kept watch last night, then shrugs when no one answer comes. That, by her standards, is a cosmic red flag. Yet the thought drifts away like flop on the breeze. Cassie declares the day is agenda. Vacation, no plotting, no scheming. And Sunny agrees, half grinning, half confused about what he's forgetting. The tree shade feels like a spell of contentment that runs off every sharp thought before it can jab. Days blur in a honeyed quiet. They sleep late, snack on a miraculous fruit, warm their hands at a tame fire, and let conversation meander into comfortable silence. Sunny wanders off to enjoy the aqua solitude. Rare, delicious, guilt-free. Oddly, time keeps slipping. Memories fog over like cool glass. Was it 3 days? 4? No one's sure, and no one minds for long. He notices how easy it is to forget, until another sweet bite or a warm patch of sun distracts the thought away. The soul tree begins to feel like a kind host, generous, protective, benign. The idea of living grows lighter, then silly, then faint. Why go back to monsters and storms when grace hung here like a fruit? Two of them limp into a paradise. One leans into a frown. Nephis grow distant, less talk, more stares into the west. Sun is still prone to forgetting. Cannot forget her. He fights a cottony headache and treks to the ridge to sit beside her. Why not enjoy the vacation? He offers, half joking. Nephis hesitates, eyes bleak. Aren't we supposed to be moving west for something important? What? She can't say. The word west sparks and fizzle in Sunny's mind. It should mean castle, escape, goal. But then slips away, replaced by the easier thought of a nap in a red shade he notices, or imagines. her hair a touch longer, like time has stretched here in a quiet ways. Nephis presses fingers to her temple. I have to do something important. The sentence feels heavy, true, and undescribable. Sunny digs for the missing thread, but something about travel, something about danger, something they must remember. Memory keeps nagging and tearing. The more he tugs, the looser it gets. He tries to lighten the mood, but the joke evaporates mid-delivery. Even Cassie's comforting presence can't settle the gnawing wrongness. Just smother it in warmth. Then a soothing obvious solution floats up like a leaf. If Nephis is hurting, bring her the best fruit. That will probably help her. That always helps. A thought lands with a soft, auspicious certainty. A solution clicks into place. Not a pain, but a reflex. Sunny will climb before dawn and pick the richest, sweetest fruit to lift Nephis' mood. It feels kind, noble, right. The shadow, though, tenses in the corner of sight. Arms folded, stands wary, like it remembers what they keep forgetting. The island hums with gentle contentment. A perfect vacation, a generous host, a simple cure for every worry. He smiles, already seeing the moment Nephis bites down and relaxes. Somewhere beneath, a different voice pearls through roots and red light. Stay, rest, and forget. Chapter 79. Twist of Fate. Cassie sleeps, bundled in her cloak, smiling, no visions, just peace. Nephis hasn't returned from the western ridge. The Black Sea worries in the dark, determined to fix a mood he can't quite name. Sunny designs on the sure cure, the sweet ruby fruit. If he finds an extra for himself, well, who's counting? Lower branches are already picked clean. The ripest prices went first. Lately the harvest has been good, not heavenly, and the addicting thought slips in. Just climb higher. He talks himself into going now rather than at dawn. His child of shadows is an edge, and a surprise gift lands better before sunrise. The first stretch is all fingertip holds and toe smears. No branches, only sleek, black bark. He moves by muscle memory, holds onto road-wide limb, and rests. Without sunbeams, the crown feels different. The rustle isn't soothing. It's a crowd of whispers, like many throats exhaling at once. He shivers, then scolds himself. Good thing the tree can't hear me. Ah, sorry, great and benevolent provider. A ripple of fuzzy thoughts slides in. Gratitude, hunger, and a weed-devouring idea he loses the moment he tries to name it. What was he thinking? Doesn't matter. Nephis needs a perfect fruit. He pushes past similar routes, into uncharted canopy. Logic says higher equals riper. The sun is stronger up there, so he hunts where the crown thins and the air feels clean and cold. There, an oddity. Upper limbs bow slightly downward as if loaded. In daylight, he'd miss it. At night, the grayscale contrast outlines the anomaly. He jumps up a level, clings and crawls toward a wall of dense leaves. The way forward is blocked. The way down is death by gravity. He opts for power. Shadow strength surges through his joints. He parts the foliage with slow, grinding patience. He freezes, eyes wide. Not fruit, but architecture. A bowl big enough to park a cart, that is within you, lined with sulfur, dark down. The bent boughs were a cradle, not a crop. The scent here is iron sweet and feather dry. Scraps glint shells, talons scored scales. In a shard of pale armor, memory flickers of those raven-headed horrors wheeling above the barrow. So that's why the canopy balked them, or sheltered them. Chapter 80. Spirit of Exploration. The secret structure hangs like a planet, a perfectly spherical nest with a struck-wide mouth, not grass and twigs, but a thick sultry branches, armed, thick and onyx black, twisted into gapless walls. At first, the idea of its maker prowling nearby prickles the skin. Then the mood shifts. The nest feels ancient and abandoned. Sanctions slump, silence layered with the dust and time. Curiosity resists caution. Exploring relics in the dream realm is stupid. Exploring relics in the dream realm might also be profitable. The tree is benevolent, he tells himself. What's born of it can't be that bad, right? He lands on a cushion of brittle, silk or spider web, knee flex, sword hand ready. The chamber is vast, empty, and strangely lonesome. No stray shadows, no skittering guardians, at its heart stands the prize. A towering egg, as tall as a man, cloud gray and smooth as a river stone. He circles it like an archaeologist, and a thief in one body. The shell's marbled gray swirl like a slow weather system. He reaches out, just the lightest touch, warm but dead. A prickle yanks through his core, like the egg is tugging on the life itself. He rips his hand back, spine cold. A normal sleeper soul core would be desert. His shadow core struck the drain. Relief, then a whisper of smug. Still here, still him. The logic locks in fast. A nest big means a parent beyond terrible. A chick that never hatched means a time bomb, waiting for some kindly idiot to detonate essence. He winces at the recent string of questionable choices, and then smirks. Still smarter than an egg. Exploration in the dream realm often ends with, and that's when we killed it. So, confirm, commit, and don't let it hatch. A quick prayer to practical gods of leverage, and to the midnight steel in his hand. The plan is workmanlike. Test the shell, then bring out the shadows if needed. Midnight shard snaps forward in a driving thrust. It only leaves a shallow scar. Okay, tough egg. He resets. Feet slide for traction. Shadow pours from his hands, blackening the blade, chilling the air. The weapon's aura hardens from keen to catastrophic. The edge bites. Hairline fractures spiderweb across the shell. A pulse of crimson light breathes from within. One heartbeat of wicked dawn, then snuffs. He drives the cut through, using weight and will. The shell yields with a granite sigh. The egg split open, vicious darkness peels. Thick rivers patterning the webbed cushion. In the ringing hush, the spell arrives like a verdict. A great devil undone, vile thieving birds spawn, and power folding into the shadow. Opportunity triumphs over nightmare nursery. He wipes the blade, watching the last red glimmer fade from the seams. It's the relief turn practical. If the spawn was here, where are the parents? There will be time to revel in the memory later. For now, leave the cradle that secrets built and the sky hunters likely claim.